All right, here we go. All right, welcome back to another episode of the Headless Horsemen Podcast, where we get a little headless, a little reckless, but we bring it in at the end of the day. I'm one of your co-hosts today, Optimus Coctimus, joined today with
Dr. Dre.
And welcome. So first things first, we want to go ahead and give a shout out to all of our Spotify listeners out there. We are at 116 plays right now, so we're only 4 short of hitting our goal of 120. So let's go ahead and get that boomed up.
Yes, sir.
So we can go ahead and, dude, it was like a non-contact. Jeez.
Right now, guys, we're watching the Knicks versus the Cavs, and Jalen Brunson.
Oh,
yeah,
dude.
He hurt his knee.
Jesus, on a non-contact too.
Yeah, man, you hate to see it, bro.
You hate to see it. But like I was saying, shout out to our Spotify followers for booming everything. We're still at 6 followers, so let's go ahead and get that up to 10. So we can go ahead and just keep getting more listeners out there. And there's recommendations from you guys that find followers that think the same way that we kind of think, and our followers, listeners that think the same way that we kind of think and want to listen to what we got to say. So definitely, we'll keep putting out this great content. We plan on putting out more shorts and stuff on TikTok and Instagram. We see that you guys love to see our short form content, more digestible content. So we'll make sure we get that out on Instagram, TikTok, and all those platforms, as well as we want to say on YouTube, shout out to our YouTube followers too. Like, we've been doing pretty good on there too. I think we picked up a little bit. And so with that being said, we'll go ahead and get into our talking points. We weren't able to cover it, but what we want to go ahead and do is just go ahead and start talking about the draft. NFL draft just happened. We've seen some crazy stuff, like the 40 record got broken by that receiver from Texas. What's his name?
Xavier Worthy.
Xavier Worthy.
Man, dude, I don't even know how us OU fans. I don't even know how we beat them boys some days, bro. Xavier, 2 NFL, like, they were starting receivers.
Right.
Both of them were NFL prospects.
Oh, wow, really?
Yeah, Xavier Worthy and...
Could they just not get the guys the ball
Xavier
that they
Worthy,
needed?
A.D. Mitchell, and then their tight end, too. He's an NFL prospect, too. He's good, too.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, man. As an OU fan, thank God we beat Texas. Man, Xavier Worthy was moving. Does Mel Kiper have him going top 10?
I got to pull that up. But, dude, I had that was like the one thing I forgot to pull up when I was...
In the meantime, I'm about to ask right now, because the topic of discussion for quarterbacks, for drafting quarterbacks, they're either... When I look at Drake May, the UNC quarterback, the problem is whenever I see that North Carolina, I think of Trubisky 2.0. That's the issue. And that's what the other ESPN analysts were saying. And I'm not trying to hate on Drake May or anything, because I think he had a better year at UNC than Trubisky did, if I'm not wrong. But we need to see how Drake May lines up against, like, an SEC team. If we had seen Drake May in the SEC or, like, Big Ten with Ohio State and something like that, we probably would have gotten a better gauge.
Right.
UNC jersey, man, there's a bias there because of what Trubisky did. Like, you just can't ignore that.
Okay.
But, I mean, hey, man, there's people out there that argue that Trevor Lawrence, his contract isn't even all worth it because they haven't gotten the output that they'd expect out of it,
Well, the thing about Trevor Lawrence, they made the playoffs last year. And it's just he had that ankle injury in the middle of the high ankle sprain. So you can't really, like, what do you want us to do about that? High ankle sprain mid-game? Like, what do you really expect us to do in that instance?
Right.
So it's kind of like Trevor Lawrence was definitely playing up to it. It's just some of these injuries, man. Like, the quarterback position with the draft has gone so much from development to immediate production.
Yep.
Like a demand for immediate production right when you get drafted. And to be honest, it's like almost a pass or fail thing. Like, there is no idea of development with, like, your first 2 years, third year, fourth year. The guy who I would have said would have been perfect for that, for development reasons, was Zach Wilson.
Yeah.
For the fact that he was going to be able to sit behind Aaron Rodgers. But that whole, they're like, he still hasn't produced and all these other things. But it's like, dude, look how many quarterback or coaches he went through in his first 5 years.
I mean, dude, didn't he have Adam Gase as his head coach?
Yeah, exactly. Yes. And then you got to think too,
Adam Gase, what a freaking
Nathaniel Hackett, who's the offensive coordinator, who coached with Rodgers. It's like the only reason that worked out is because they've been bread and butter for so many years. Right. So you really think Zach Wilson's going to be able to do the same thing Aaron Rodgers does after only watching one game behind Aaron Rodgers, right, and then being told, hey, you got to start playing now? Like, you weren't going to make it. He was better off just being a backup sitting behind there, but it's so toxic down there probably with the demand that they're trying to put on him. Remember when they were like sitting there and I guess they asked him, well, we don't know if he wants to play. We don't know if he wants to. And he comes up, no, I'm like that. And it's just like, when you start having to count, when you're at a job and you got to start counting the days, that's when you know something's got to break, something's going to give. And that's exactly what happened to him. So in my opinion, the quarterback out of all positions that you would expect demand out of it, it's like, I wouldn't expect so much demand immediately out of the quarterback position, considering development and having to deal with the best of the best. Now, I think things may change now with this tournament because you're going to see the best of the college players, but that still doesn't account for the fact that you got to see the best of the best in the NFL.
Yeah, like how many of those dudes who are going to be in the playoffs, all those college football players on that roster, how many of them are actually going to be how many of them are actually going to be drafted? Because who had 18 players? I think it was Michigan had 18 players in the draft this year.
18?
Yeah. 18 players in the draft. Alabama and Georgia at least churning out 10 plus. So Ohio State's putting at least a good 5 to 8 there. No, I'd give Ohio State 10.
I mean, that's going to be a big...
On average, annually.
And
all four of those schools I just mentioned, they all typically have a first-round player that's drafted within the first round.
Right. But, and the thing is, it's like...
When you talk about developmental...
Right.
You're right about the developmental thing because, like I was saying, when we were saying on one of the old clips when I said they don't care, college scouts ain't asking how many times they saw the field as a freshman, they're asking what they developed into. The quarterback situation should be the same, but like you were saying, the media pushes it so hard. Like, they'll be pushing it like after a team just loses a game.
He's a fraud. And it's just like, dude, he had one bad game. Like, Jordan Love next year may get the most, as a Packers fan, Jordan Love may get the most slander that I've ever seen from a quarterback, considering, because if they have a sophomore slump year next year, which sometimes happens in development, they're going to be, they're a bust, they're this, they're that. Especially for the Packers, it's going to be worse because we have 2 Hall of Fame quarterbacks that came out. Right. And now our third quarterback that we have now that's big name is going to look like a bust after one bad year.
Oh, no. And I don't think Jordan Love is somebody, based off of the film and the throws he makes, that's not somebody you're just going to be able to figure out because he's making intelligent throws. He's over here looking off the safeties. He's taking checkdowns and taking what's in front of him,
Yeah, he gambles a little bit. He tries to be a little bit too much of a hero. That's what cost us the playoffs. But there was a couple picks he threw, and it was just like, you got to make those. Even some check down throws, he buffed, like overthrew Aaron Jones. But in terms of just quarterbacks and development, that position needs to be developed more. Should be given more grace to develop. Like running backs, receivers, and stuff like that. Maybe not so much considering about what's expected of them and what they have to worry about.
Yeah, I'd be perfectly fine with saying the majority of gold in the first round should be O-linemen, D-linemen, or maybe linebackers.
Yeah, because I think...
I might even take a kicker, for being honest.
To be... Hey, I used to mess up a lot of people's fantasy drafts. Used to piss them off. F you, big dog, F you. Like, Kurger being... Kurger being just drafted a kicker first. But nah. It's just when you first round draft picks get a little interesting because it's like, oh man, yeah, I knew DiVincenzo was going to probably be the guy they need to get production out of right now because he's their third option.
DiVincenzo could be one of the coldest shooting guards in the league. He doesn't play bad defense.
Well, no, that's why the Warriors played so well with him in the Glove Junior.
He was like a prototype Klay Thompson, bro.
To be honest.
Like he's that would be the perfect player.
I'm surprised they got rid of him.
Like remember was it the college football or why is it college football? College basketball championship?
He was going ballistic, dunking on people too.
Yeah, but we all know we ain't seen
there it is. Great. I think Josh Hart should have took that shot, but
yeah, guys, if you still haven't caught up, we're live watching the Cavs versus the Knicks right now. Jalen Brunson's been injured.
And so now this is a close game. This is going to be a good fourth versus the second in the East right now. This is a good game. Yeah. But like we're saying about draft stocks, draft picks, 10. Top 10. I think we're going to go ahead. I think we got kind of some of the feelers out the way. So Mel Kiper's top 10. I think this is right, Rito. So at number 10, he has Turner, the guy from Dallas Turner, the linebacker. Yeah, he has him at number 10, the linebacker. And he's going. I think it would be going to Atlanta Falcons, pick number 8. So, I don't think that's bad. Wait, what? Yeah, so I don't know what the draft order is going to be, but.
It'll be the Bears should have the first.
Let me see. Yeah, let me see.
Typically, the quarterback would be first.
Well, did you want to go 1 down or 10 up? Okay. 1 through 10? Okay, so number 1's Caleb Williams. So,
To the Bears, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Did they just wait? Did Carolina draft up? Wait, no, I'm not reading this right.
What are you talking about?
Look.
Carolina traded the pick to Chicago.
Yeah, so that's what I thought. I was like, wait, I was like, when did this happen? But so yeah, Chicago number 1. Mel Kiper has obviously Caleb Williams.
Interesting.
But the Bears don't need a new quarterback. They're gonna get the same like
It's the freaking Bears though. Like
the Bears.
They think the Bears would freaking change a tire when they need to get their oil changed, bro.
The last great Jay Cutler was their best shot at quarterback. The last guy to come out, and he was good. I look at some of those playoff games. He wasn't bad. It's just, well, when they had Alshon Jeffrey and all those guys, Brandon Marshall.
Oh yeah.
They were cleaning up years ago.
Moons ago. You young NFL fans don't know nothing about that, bro.
So, Alshon Jeffrey, Jesus. But anyways, the problem is like why the Bears are they gonna trade Caleb Williams somewhere else? Because in my opinion, they don't need that. Like I don't know if it's their offensive coordinator or their coach. I think this is like second year with a losing record or something like that,
Right.
if I'm not mistaken. So, first of all, they wasted Khalil Mack in that defense that they had that they put together like 2 or 3 years ago.
Right.
And now you're going to come in here, we're just going to take the number 1 quarterback because we're supposed to. Yeah, you guys did that last time with what's-his-face right now. And look how that turned out for you.
They gave Justin Fields no O-line, anything, and they were like, yeah, produce, kid, produce now.
And guess what? And now everybody gets mad at his throws. I'm like, he has no confidence to throw because he has to do the thing that he does best. Because how many times does he get a daylight savings in his pocket?
He's constantly using his
So,
legs, man.
and he has no choice. He won games with his legs because he had no choice.
What, they won 2 games?
And then the offensive coordinator, some of those calls that they had, it's like this playbook is terrible. I mean, honestly, we should have threw a read option in there.
I mean, Matt Nagy is starting to make Chicago look like they're a real problem. Like,
Yeah, to be honest.
We got him on the team as the offensive coordinator, you know?
Yeah, and so I think they got to start with the top first. I think they need a new owner or new blood in there because they need to get a new GM or something.
Yeah, man.
And then-
It was only so much they could even do. Like, Chicago's a shithole of a freaking organization.
Right.
Bears do not even know. They had an elite defense. And still, bro, they literally had Khalil Mack on their defense.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Like,
They had Khalil Mack, and I think they had a defensive tackle in there, and then I think they had a safety or corner. And they were playing lights out defense on that team.
yeah, bro, that's ridiculous, bro.
And then, when he starts saying like, oh, I gotta go ahead and leave and all this and that, and I was just like, bro, go ahead and get up out of here because you ain't gonna make it.
Nope, not at all, bro.
Exactly.
Who's number 2? Drake May?
Well, Mel Kiper has his second draft prospect, Marvin Harris Jr.,
Ooh,
going to the Cardinals.
Yeah. Cardinals don't need a quarterback.
Marvin Harris Jr. is a wide receiver.
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
why did I say Drake May is the same?
Yeah. But
Yeah, that's a good pickup for them.
I think that's not a bad pickup, but at the same time, they didn't do nothing with DeAndre Hopkins there.
Nope.
And then they had what's his face that came from the Ravens.
Oh, Hollywood Brown?
Yeah.
What, didn't they? Oh, yeah, they traded him, huh?
They did nothing with him.
Nothing accomplished.
So they still have problems with that head coach. They're still going through too many head coach changes, and they need to get settled on before they do something.
Even
I think,
Enzo was cooking.
yeah, if I were Marvin Harris Jr., I think he should go to somewhere that's going to be. I think he's ready to play.
Yeah, bro.
I think he's genuinely ready to play. So if Marvin Harris Jr. were to go anywhere, I think he should go somewhere where he'll actually get involved with immediate productivity. Yeah, this is a good game.
Max Strus, you are not a layup type of guy, my boy.
Oh, they are cooking right now.
Knicks is firing back. 18,
Do,
12,
do, do.
4 minutes, 30 seconds left.
But
Timeout.
Marvin Harrison Jr., going to Cardinals, but I'd probably want to see him. Honestly, I'd probably want to see him. San Fran has enough weapons. Dallas, I mean, they got to figure that.
The Carolina Panthers figured out Marvin Harrison Jr. for Bryce Young and give him some weapons.
That's actually not a bad. Or even C.J. Stroud with the Texans.
Oh,
man, that would be devious
they
work.
were not, but yeah, the Texans ain't seeing Marvin Harrison because they made the playoffs. That's too late.
Yeah.
Somebody gonna. I mean, the
Or
Buccaneers
will-
could have dang sure picked him up by then.
What would be dangerous is if he went to the Browns, because you got those tight end sets they like to run too much.
What does the draft pick order look?
What?
What are the teams like the draft pick order?
So he didn't do. He just has his top 10 draft picks. He doesn't have it going by order too, because the order is Chicago 1, Washington 2, New England 3, Arizona 4, Chargers 5, Giants. Then Tennessee 7, Atlanta 8, and then I guess Chicago has 2 first-round draft picks, and Chicago's 9, and then New York Jets is 10.
No, go to third, and then we'll just go one by one.
New England.
New England? Yeah, New England could use Marvin Harrison too. But
Yeah.
Did they get a new quarterback?
Yeah, who's going to be their head coach? Oh, no, Gerard Mayo, yeah.
Yeah, but do they get a new quarterback, or do they get a receiver and give Mac Jones some weapons? Or do they look at the defensive aspect and get Dallas Turner?
I would go get a receiver.
Yeah, I would get Mac Jones some weapons.
Well, Mac Jones just remember that before he started stinking it up, they went to the playoffs. They just needed He just needed weapons.
Yeah, I don't even know how the heck they even made the playoffs with that. Yeah.
Their defense kept them in games the whole season probably, and Mac Jones could just develop systematically. It's easy.
Were winning like low games, but hey, man, a win is.
But the win is a win. So Mel Kiper's fourth, or number 3 is J.T. Daniels, or Jaden Daniels. My bad.
Jaden Daniels to the Patriots. That's what they were talking about. Jaden Daniels to the Patriots.
They want him to the Patriots.
Yeah, but like
Mel has him going to the Commanders, but they don't need. They have
Commanders.
no that guy that they already had as a quarterback up there. He's perfectly fine. He's a gunslinger. He plays for the team. Everything. It's just Washington also got rid of their GM midseason. Yeah. Then they traded away Chase Young. You know, like they have bigger issues to worry about than just putting that last puzzle piece that they need in order. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, are you serious? He got injured too? No. Yeah, he's limping. Jesus.
Ooh, what?
Wow. Darius Garland.
The cigar, boy. Be easy on that cigar.
So, Jaden Daniels, number 3, but Mel has him going to Washington. I think, I guess, but who needs like, if I was Dallas, I'd try to get Jaden Daniels, to be honest, but they went to the playoffs, so that wouldn't work. And then, yeah, Drake May, New England Patriots, number 3. That's where he has him, going to the Patriots.
Wow. Trubisky 2.0 to the West, probably to the East Coast. He's staying on the East Coast.
And then, Rome Odunze.
See, that's who the Patriots should get. Odunze.
But he has him going Chicago Bears, number 9.
The Bears would be smart to take Odunze or Harrison Jr.
They need a weapon. But then again, are they going to waste talent like they did with Kevin White?
Yeah.
He was never the same after that. Because he was a speed, like 6, running 4.3s? Yeah, 6'3", 6'4", running 4.3s?
Dang, man.
But honestly, Odunze, nah, I don't like it. I think he's going to have talent. Any place going to Chicago is going to have talent wasted.
Yeah. I mean, freaking Pat's going to get Odunze or Harrison. Like, they just need
Yeah.
to Odunze,
Yeah,
man.
basically. I think you get Odunze. I think you can draw. Bill O'Brien can draw up a good enough offense to figure it out, unless he's still too washed. But next, number 6 is Neighbors, Malik Neighbors. Yeah.
What position?
Wide receiver, led the FBS with 17 catches of 30-plus yards. Let's see where he has him going. LSU.
Oh.
He has him going to the New York Giants. Ooh.
No, Odunze would probably go to the Giants. Unless
I think it's going to...
No shot they're going to draft Malik Neighbors over Rome Odunze, dog. And no disrespect to Malik Neighbors, but like...
Well, he had a lot of 30-point... he led SBS in 30-plus yards stuff that I was talking about. But the thing is, too, I think it's going to depend on who's left on the board based off of what Arizona may do if they're really trying to hone after a wide receiver. whoever gets first pick on the wide receiver is really going to depend, I think, on do you need a physical guy or do you need a smaller speed guy?
Right.
Or do you just want an overall star? So that's going to depend. I think that's going to be a big dependent on who's going to be left on the board afterwards. You know what I mean?
Man, that'll be
so because Odunze, I mean, he still played a lot of ball for Washington. You know what I mean? And they went deep. But
crazy good, though.
But Marvin Harrison is probably going to be, in terms of starlight that deserves starlight, Marvin Harrison Jr. is probably going to be the guy that deserves it and should probably go first.
Right.
Just overall star completion, he'll be good to go. I mean, and then 2, which team needs that type of wide receiver? Like who was it? Not Zach Wilson, but who's the guy that they got? Yeah, like they need a guy like Garrett Wilson came out. Garrett Wilson came out and said I could win immediately. Get you the routes and get you the moves immediately. Just put the ball in my hands. Playmaker. So in terms of who's going to go first, playmaker's going to probably go first. Then probably second is speedster. And then that third guy is going to be a little chip on his shoulder because he understands. Right. But like I said, it's going to depend who needs a wide receiver. But I think Chicago, if they want to do something, get Marvin Harrison. And you have to start getting this guy confidence, Caleb Williams, by making sure Marvin Harrison can get those slots and get everything that he needs to.
Right.
So we'll see.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that assessment. I like that a lot.
Next, we got Brock that tight Brock Bowers.
Cowboy B Brock. Yeah. Cowboy B Brock in the clutch.
Los Angeles Chargers, pick number 5.
That's not bad.
Holy
that's not
Jesus.
bad, bro.
That is a gauntlet of superpowers around Matt Stafford.
For the Rams?
Yes. Because you got Coop
Cup. The Chargers for a second.
Oh, no. Los Angeles Chargers. Yeah, my bad.
Okay. Yeah. Dude,
so, my God.
Harbaugh figures a way, dude.
Well, no, that's perfect. The veteran wide receiver in, what's his face?
Keenan Allen.
Yes. And then now you have this guy coming underneath.
Yeah, Brock Bowers.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Tight end, Brock Bowers.
That's perfect.
God, I don't want the Chargers to draft Brock Bowers. Please. That's not a bad pickup, though. Like, I'm proud of that for the Chargers. I'm happy for getting that. If need. But man, if the Chiefs, if we could, I'm telling you, bro.
Because we got Keenan Allen. I'm trying to think. Darius Davis, is he good? Is he bad? Carolyn Doss, haven't heard of Alex Erickson. Gerald Everett is he came from South Alabama. I was thinking somewhere else.
Chicken pizza from
so
calm down.
So yeah, no, there's space in that room for him to develop. You know, I don't know if this guy's a number 1 tight end in Gerald Everett, you know.
Right.
And he's 29, so he'll be coming up right behind some of that he can develop behind.
29
so Brock Bowers has a good chance of that'll be a good place for him to develop. He'll get a lot of looks too. Mm-hmm. And I think honestly, as a tight end coming out the league, for the wide receiver catching portion of it, getting those dink and dunks. I mean, just being an easy check down for your quarterback. That's the easiest way to go. Of course, they're going to try to look for the mismatches if they can get them. But a lot of those mismatch routes are probably going to come from the fact that, can you just get 5 yards up the field? Can you press the sticks? Can you press that goal line and just do that box out thing? Mm-hmm. I think Brock Bowers can do that. He can move well, showed it well. So I think that'll work perfect for him. And that's all he has to be. And if they can start him off as a dink and dunk guy, so Keenan Allen can stretch out the field to give him the mismatches on linebackers underneath or safeties underneath, create space in those zones, easy claps.
Wow, Larry, you should be offensive coordinator, bro.
Yeah, well, you're acting up. Joe Alt is number 8, going to the Tennessee Titans. Is number 7. That's Mel's mock draft. He's an offensive lineman.
From where?
Notre Dame. Big Notre.
Yep, turning them out.
Yes, sir.
Marcus Freeman got bragging rights.
Allowed just 16 total pressures, the more than 1,000 pass block snaps. Fair. That looks good. I think that's perfect considering if they can get what's his name? Derrick Henry comes back, run the rock. Please just run the rock.
Didn't they get rid of Taylor Lewin or whatever?
Well, now he retired because he had that. Well, I think it was his contract was up and he retired too because his knee was bad.
Wow.
So it was just time for him to go. Rest in peace to the dog. But run the ball. Like, you get these offensive hosses out there, you got to start running the ball again. That's what got you into the playoffs.
Do something.
That's what got you into the playoffs. And you got rid of Vrabel when oh my God.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
And,
gone.
my thing is, look, you get a system quarterback that can just run some West Coast. Run West Coast with Derrick Henry. Let the run dictate your passing abilities so you can open up the slots. Because if we're going to be honest here, Derrick Henry getting to the stretches inside, whatever you want, is perfect. But if you can get some hosses like this guy to get him out in open space, get those guards to pull, maybe even get a lead center pull like Jason Kels, or even get these tackles to get out in open space. Let them go to Denny's and get all you can eat pancakes on these corners, these safeties, these linebackers. That's what you got to do. That's a good offensive line right there. But of course, in this pass blocking league, I get it, but you're not gonna get the productivity, I think, and getting the rhythm that your offensive line needs when you're immediately just dropping back to pass so many 4-down series. You know what I mean?
If anything, the Titans they try to run the ball a little too much.
Well,
especially when they try to win from behind, it's like you
and
run the ball when you try to win from behind.
But my thing is like let the run open it up so you don't have to take deep shots on like a 3rd and 8. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's the problem. But getting a guy like this, run behind these guys, get up out there. Get up out there. Number 9 is another offensive lineman from Penn State, Alumia Fashanu. He has him going to Atlanta.
Okay.
That may be a good building block that they do. Started just 21 career games, allowed 1 sack in that time. So we got the Kyrie Irving of offensive linemen out here, just not even playing ball. But I think honestly, though, I think that's not a bad build. I think investing in your offensive line early is a great building block because with all the defensive stunts that you get put on, it's almost every position is a one-man island. Right. There is no help. There is no shifts and stuff like that. You got centers when they got to deal with the inside shade technique, snap, and you're already shifting left and shifting right. But then guess what? Who's already coming with like a slant? You know what I mean? Yeah. And then your tackles are getting welcome to defensive end island or outside linebacker island. You know what I mean? Doing with like the wraparounds and all these other things. So I think especially now, I would get an offensive lineman in now because if you can deal with the pass rushers that we have now. Oh my God. Ooh. And he moping setting these screens. Look, you don't even want to set screens no more. Oh, what a shot. Get in there.
Oh, my gosh, bro.
Guy.
He just got broken so bad.
That tire went flat.
Hold on, bro. We might have to put that in.
We might have to. Yeah, for real. Jesus.
Was crazy
disgusting. Fucking filthy. But like I was saying earlier, getting an offensive lineman in now with these great pass rushers, let them get settled in over the next 2 to 3 years because you got a lot of guys entering their primes, and you got a lot of defensive coaches that are now coming downhill. And you got to think at the Atlanta Falcons, you're going to see a lot of that in the NFC. Right. Joey Bosa, right? And even you're going to probably have to play a couple of AFC games too. So if you got to pay TJ Watt, you better get used to it now, buddy, because TJ coming downhill immediately. Micah Parsons is another one you're going to have to see in the NFC with the Atlanta Falcons. Preston Smith with the Packers, outside linebacker who rushes. Yeah. You're going to have to see him. I'm trying to think if there's any other rushers in the NFC like that. Micah Parsons, Bosa. Eagles got some pass rushers.
Brandon Graham.
Getting downhill.
Davis.
Mm-hmm. And then another thing that you're going to have to deal with, too, is just like those defensive concepts, too. Because they're getting a lot more creative with the fact that they're turning these defensive end rushers into playmakers. Right. So now they're going to start doing whatever they can do to create mismatches, and you got to see that for what it is and be able to be confident to do that. But if you don't do it with these great pass rushers now and with the great ones that are coming to college and after, you're going to have a struggle to be a hard time. So I think, it's a good fit. I think it's a good puzzle piece to have a well-seasoned puzzle piece in the offensive line, considering what they have to deal with nowadays, and do that. So now let's get into his number 10 pick. We're going to go with Dallas Turner, ranked 8th in the FBS with a 16.7% pressure rate. So it seems like he's a linebacker that likes to rush.
Dallas Turner is an edge rush, and he's going where?
Mel has him at going to the Atlanta Falcons.
Good.
So some of the things with that too, I don't think they're running that same rushing style that they have with was it Vic Beasley? Because Vic Beasley was the same way. And so with that being said, I think edge rushing is another great investment for the long haul. I mean, look at Micah Parsons right now.
Yep.
Being able to, let's just say this right now. Defenses have changed to the point with edge rushers that they're almost getting treated like a scorer in basketball, like Michael Jordan, Luka Doncic, like where they literally just figure out they're that valuable to where we have to figure out how to move 7 players around to get his opening the best way possible.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, you look at what Nick Bosa did in the Super Bowl. That was great, right? Great team defense. But at the same time, it was like, how do we make sure, leading up to that, Chase Young?
Armstead.
Mm-hmm.
Armstead, that's who it is.
Leading up to that, you think about how many times they've catered the defense to move everybody around so they can get Nick Bosa his mismatches.
Right.
Because it's great to be good on one-on-one, but when you can run slants, wraparounds, inside, outside movements to where you can do that type of stuff, right, you're going to do that. Look at what J.J. Watt had when he had those 3 Defensive Player of the Year awards. Think about how they moved the defense around for him to get open, to get the looks that he wants.
And he was getting interceptions.
Exactly. Yes, exactly. And the thing is, they actually let him roam the defensive line and let him pick his own mismatches too. And then, like, you would see him get some of those sacks and pressures. That's like having just that one person negate one side of your offensive line. You know, building up to the snap and then having to make the dynamic reads as is makes it tough. Oh, I was going to say, what a shot. But, yeah, so that's kind of what he's looking like. I don't think that's necessarily bad. You know, it's going to honestly just depend on team needs. Like, we'd have to figure out all 32 team needs, and that would be that would be like a 3-hour, that would be a 3-hour segment.
But I'd say linemen or receiver or defensive linemen, those aren't bad. Those aren't bad first round picks.
The investments that you could make into these guys, you know, especially with the fact that quarterbacks are getting so much light shined on them, I would take that time to be like, okay, quarterbacks are getting more pressure on them and anything to make plays and to do stuff. That means I can take more of my money and more of my resources just to do stuff under the radar.
Right.
Having offensive linemen fly under the radar to where I can help develop them. Having offensive linemen that I can develop, especially right now with these pass rushers, you have to. You have to develop them so when it's time for them to step up and be the next ones that have to do stuff, they're ready when you can either trade for a good quarterback or guess what? You got a quarterback that knows how to win like Joe Burrow's out the gate. And guess what? You're not dealing with what Cincinnati's having to deal with their offense. Yes, exactly. Yes, exactly. And their offensive linemen getting injured all the time. So I think those are good things. And I think, too, you look at some of the greater teams that won Super Bowls, like, for instance, the Baltimore Ravens. Look how much time and preparation they put into that defense to actually mold them the way they needed to be. So Joe Flacco was just going up ballistic in that playoff series when they won that ring, you know, with Ray Lewis, Ed Reed, those guys that they had up front. So, in my opinion, I like some of those pieces that were getting put down. I think receivers can be tricky sometimes.
Yeah,
you know?
Well, I mean, I don't think drafting. I think if you know, well, yeah, you're like you say, you're right about the receivers being tricky because the injuries and the inconsistency, like the confidence.
Mm-hmm.
But man, I'll never forgive Howie Roseman for drafting Jalen Reagor over Justin Jefferson. Like that's that's a no-brainer, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like. If you had somebody like
what a pass!
Marvin
There you
Harrison go. Coming up,
beautiful play on the backside, by the way.
Like
yeah,
Harrison or Dunze,
mm-hmm.
Those are 2 legitimate receivers.
2 legitimate receivers. The reason I think the thing is, I think you have to. I think with receivers, what's tricky about it is the different looks that they have to see and get used to. We all love our one-on-one matchups, you know, like we all love them. But the fact that, how do you approach that? Do you stack? You know, can you stack? Can you play, you know, can you even try to figure out how to get a PI if it's overthrown? Right. Like you look at some of before Antonio Brown got those CTE injuries, that man was about to cook the league like he was Kyrie Irving and show us something that we've never seen before from that position.
Man, bro, Antonio Brown that was so sad what happened, bro.
And, I mean, if we're going to be honest, when he figured out how to stack corners to get PIs for balls overthrown, I was like, oh I was like, oh my gosh. And then even what he did to Xavier Rhodes before he fell off.
Yeah, dude, Xavier Rhodes, man.
That was crazy the way he fell off. But if we're going to be honest, like what Antonio Brown was doing like that for what he was doing, it's like that's a once in a lifetime, thing. And I'd like to see the same thing from Marvin Harris and all those places. But a lot of that's going to depend on, can we get the confidence to get the looks to make sure he gets the ball early and draw up plays just for him? And I think you have to attack that immediately. ASAP. So that's kind of how I feel about it. Did you have any other comments or stuff that you wanted to put out about it?
No, man. I want to see what unfolds on draft night, man. I'm tired of just seeing all these theoretical situations.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Plus, teams can make trades on freaking draft night.
Exactly. And honestly, with some of the free agents that that I was talking about before, I mean, they got the top 100 unrestricted free agents right now, and it's a lot of defensive players that we're seeing right now.
It's a lot, bro.
Or unless this is just for, that's just for inside linebacker. That's why I was like, okay, never mind. But so I think the other thing we'll go ahead and get into is just talk about draft needs for our two teams that we like. So Packers right now, apparently we. Do that in a separate video? This is kind of long. Well, no, I can cut it. Like I know where to cut it, so I'll just.
Okay, you don't mind cutting it?
Yeah, no, because then I can just
cool.
and then that way they don't have to deal with the cuts in between. So Packers needs right now, if we're going to be honest, I think it's inside linebackers, safeties, and corners. So secondary work, I think we can get some. If we do not, we'll start with a basic. Number one, we got a new strength and conditioning coach, so hopefully we can deal with these like non-contact injuries, because the last guy who was doing it could not get the job done. Yeah. So now we got to see if we can figure out a way to make sure people. Well, this guy was actually the strength and conditioning coach for San Fran. So let me see if I can pull up his information. I can't remember his name off the dome. Aaron Hill from the 49ers. Former University of Minnesota linebacker Aaron Hill, the new strength and conditioning coach for the Packers, has spent the last 5 seasons with the San Francisco 49ers. And in the last 5 years, San Fran has been one of the teams at the NFC. So I'm excited for it. We'll see what happens. See if we can make sure we don't have to deal with so many non-injury related injuries. Jesus. And number two, if we're talking needs, I think what they've been saying is we want to get some guys for safety and corners. And it's going to be interesting about how we attack this, considering that we're going to move from a 3-4 look to a 4-3. So I don't think we're going to have a lot of guys. Like we're going to need more guys to be able to roam. But underneath in nickel sets and stuff like that, we're going to need some guys that can play the speed guys in the slot or even stars in the slot and be able to play underneath and get physical with tight ends when it comes down to third down situations where they're going to be pressing for the sticks and going towards their tight end for a conversion. So that's going to be something that we're going to have to look forward to. I think that's going to be something that we can fix. The thing about the safeties and corners, it's really going to depend on the schema. If we're a 4-3 that likes to get downhill, I think that's going to be great. I didn't watch film on the guy that for our new defensive coordinator, but I don't know if he likes to, substitute heavy either. So if he likes to substitute heavy, my only thing is that I don't know how many safeties and corners we're going to have to pick up. Because we're going to get a lot of new guys if that's the case, but we need to get some veterans too.
Getting rid of Simone Biles' husband, huh? You getting rid of the prize?
No, he did fine. He was more than worthy of being considered a prize. Ooh, what a 3. Yeah, beautiful 3. Yeah, just stood there. But like I was saying before, if this guy likes to substitute a lot, there's going to be a lot of, slants, schemes, like the way Dan Quinn used to run it at Atlanta with his 4-3.
The Quinjamin Franklin himself.
That choked. But
Man's defense about to be interesting.
Yeah, so this defense is going to be good, but if we don't substitute a lot, then we got to look at guys that can do a lot. Like our safeties got to be able to do a lot, where they can come down, play tight ends on the inside, as well as play some guys underneath too, because you understand like what's going to happen with those guys that are going to be in there for long drives. Right. Also, inside linebackers, we're going to need a guy that can roam around a lot in the pass because of how everybody likes to pass, especially in the NFC. I was surprised we didn't see more running from Dallas, considering they had like a short guy and big linemen that could get it done. I was very shocked. But the only person I'd be concerned about running the ball on us a lot Thank you.
Sneeze if you're gay, boy.
It's too late. I sneezed before it, so I was straight. My straightness is attacked. But what I am saying is that the only person that we got to watch out for running the ball probably going to be Christian McCaffrey in that NFC team. But even then, that's going to come down to a lot of, can we get all 7 people in the box to actually move in one motion, sideline to sideline, so we can deal with that accordingly. Now, with that being said, I think we do need an intelligent inside linebacker that can move pieces around, talk to safeties, communicate with corners, put defensive linemen inside outside the way we need to, so that our four-man rush can be effective, but also that the safety and corners can be put in the right position to make plays. Now, with that being said, what I'd like to see, I'd like to either see McQueen get picked up or Devin White.
Patrick Queen?
Yeah, Patrick Queen or...
Big Queen.
My bad. I thought it was
Like
McQueen.
that YouTuber?
Yeah. I'd like to either see him get picked up or Devin White. You know, they have him as number 7 in the top whatever. But even Tyrell Dodson, you know, they have him as number 1. He's 26-year-old. I like Patrick Queen, but he's just been doing a good job of just playing coverage, has long arms. And I think that's exactly what you need for mismatches. But Tyrell Dodson, Patrick McQueen, Devin White, those would be some guys that I'd look at. Number 1, Devin White has playoff experience too, just like Queen has playoff experience as well. They've been considered all-stars, and they can actually move around and communicate with people. Because if we're going to be honest, we're not going to see traditional 4-3s. Like Preston Smith is going to be considered outside linebacker, but he's going to be put in that defensive end where he's going to have to come down and just rush. And you want a guy like that to do that because he's going to take a lot of leverage off of, or a lot of liability off of your run defense because of the fact that he can make tackles and just play the run defense so effectively. So with that being said, I think you need a guy to roam around and just be a ball hawk all day and just play run support, not run initiator. And I think Devin White will be a good guy, or even Queen himself, because he even showed that with the way that he's been able to communicate this past year with the Baltimore Ravens. Now, in terms of safeties and stuff, I think we just need to, I don't want Alexander to go to waste, you know, because the pack is back, right? But my problem is like, I just want them to use him better, or not better, but I just don't want it to be that we have to roam him around everywhere, but we cannot get the correct coverages that we're looking from on the backside with the corners or even safeties, because everybody else on that team is a freaking liability.
Okay, all right.
And so with that being said, I mean, Antonio Whitfield from the Bucks.
Oh, from the Bucks at
Yeah,
safety?
yeah. Darnell Savage is. I think we're trying to re-sign him. I think we need to re-sign him because it's just going to be when we have those 2 high sets and we want to be able to play a safety over the top, like right under that linebacker. So the linebacker,
fast enough too, bro.
yes, and we need to be able to have him play like that hybrid in the box, out of the box, 1 through 3 series, so we don't have to bring somebody else. So that we can have another safety that just roams, but we can have Savage play in the box to actually, deflect passes with tight ends or even play on guys like Samuel's in the slot. So if we can get another safety that can just roam over the top, that would be good. And then corners-wise, like I said, we just need one more corner that's not a liability, that can play as a dime or a nickel set. Because that's where we need to start winning a lot more of those sets, on those 2nd and 7s, 3rd and 8s, or even 3rd and 3s. You got to be able to have a guy that can play underneath and do well. Jalen Johnson, L'Jarius Sneed. I mean, he's in the I mean, if we could pull him, Chidobe Awuzie. He had a bad year, or a down year a little bit. Kendall Fuller wouldn't be bad.
Nope.
And yeah, I haven't heard that name in a long time, but Kendall Fuller wouldn't be bad. And I think being able to have a veteran guy like that who's 29, give him like 2 or 3 years, but then we could have him transition like Hall did, to have him play over the top as a safety, to actually just roam over the top. Okay. So that Darnell Savage could still play in the box and be that extra help as a safety in those diamond nickel sets that we want to see.
Okay.
So that's kind of just been where my head's been at with a lot of those guys. Even Stephon Gilmore, I wouldn't, if I would honestly try.
Toast. No, I'm just kidding.
I would try to. He's 33. He only got about 2 more years.
Man, yeah. Fuck. I just.
Oh, what a play! Great inbounds play.
I hate to see Gilmore's downfall, bro.
Yeah.
Like, he was locking shit up. You remember that play in Dallas?
Yeah, I know.
Where he was on the Patriots,
Mm-hmm.
locking up Amari Cooper like that.
Yeah.
Good God.
And that's the thing. Xavier Howard, Jesus, he is still lockup. We got to re-sign Keyshawn Nix. If we don't do that, he was decent in the slot, which is fine. But my thing is, this may sound like a risk, but taking guys like Kendall Fuller, Stephon Gilmore, or even Xavier Howard, transition them to Roman safeties that can just play over the top. Because of their length, they know how to play the ball when the ball is released in the air. Mm-hmm. You're telling me you want to want that veteranship over the top that doesn't cost you any PIs on the backside, on deep balls and stuff like that, so that your younger guys can play hard underneath? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. They know who to help on, who not to help on. They can do a lot of the player coaching and audibles that you need done on the field. So if you are going to do that cover 6 where you got cover 2 on the backside and cover 4 on the front side, you can do that. That's just where I'm kind of at. I mean, Miles Bryant in the slot, that's what they're staying on here. He wouldn't be bad if we could get him to play underneath in those nickel and dime sets. So that's just kind of where my head's been at. But, do I have, I think we maybe, what the heck? The only last one I'm just going to cover is like maybe a rusher that we may need. But I don't even think we need a rusher, to be honest. But, Josh Allen, outside linebacker. That would be good. Brian Burns, Leonard Floyd. Shaq Barrett at 31.
I can't believe the freaking Bucks are no longer with Shaq Barrett.
Yeah.
He put their freaking whole defense on.
Yeah.
Like, that shit's crazy.
Wasn't he came out of Clemson, right?
Yeah.
Because he played that game with like a torn MCL.
Man, Shaq Barrett was crazy great.
Yeah. Bud Dupree is 31. Jesus Christ. That dude has been a dog for a while. But I think I would try to pick up one of those guys just for the veteranship they offer in the locker room, though, if we're going to be honest. And then we don't really need those.
We don't really need those.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I meant we don't really need any, like, outside linebacker. I mean, we could get another rusher, but it's just going to depend on that 4-3 split the way we want to play it. Then offensively, we just need to pick up a tight, either a tackle this offseason or something else. Because, number one, we need to get rid of Bakhtiari. Second year that he's been injured, he's getting paid out, but we're not getting the productivity because he had another season-ending knee injury or something, second game into the season last year. And this other guy didn't do bad, but he let a lot of pressures go. But we got Tyron Smith, Mike Onwunu, Jonah Williams,
for sure land Tyron Smith,
and then Trenton Brown. The problem is they just got huge injury risk for some of them. I like Mike Onwunu. He's 26. He's played both guard and tackle, but he plays his best at right tackle. But our right tackle did fine, but I'd move him to left tackle. Yeah, big, just move to left tackle, buddy. You'll do fine.
Just move to left.
Because you're 26, still got some years on you. Jonah Williams, he was playing on the right side this whole last year for the Bengals. I remember that because the right tackle went out. So the Mike Onwunu or Jonah Williams for a left tackle is what we need with a young quarterback that we have in Jordan Love. We can figure that out. We get guys that can do that for us, we'll be A-okay. I like those guys because they can actually get a lot of stuff done. They can develop. They've seen a lot of the defenses, especially in the AFC. Having to see those AFC pass rushes like with the Chiefs and stuff, Spagnuolo with the blitzes, right. And then TJ Watt, the way they tried to open up things for him as well. New York Jets, that defense, having to play against a defense like that, yeah, come on in, buddy. Come on in.
Right.
We need you. So those are guys, I think all of our other positions were solid. I mean, wide receivers, we just got to make sure Christian Watson's healthy, our tight end's healthy, and I think we got I forgot our other tight end, but our receiver, and he played well. And so that's just the thing. Running backs, I'll try to go get Josh Jacobs right now. Or Tony Pollard, too.
Damn, Josh Jacobs got hella kids, bruh.
Don't matter.
Xavier Howard, too, man. I can't believe he got fat-ass contract.
Yeah. Or even DeAndre Swift is apparently on the draft block.
What?
Yeah.
From the Eagles?
I think so, from what they're saying on here. So, We'll see. Or even Zach Moss. Zach Moss would be disgusting if we could pick him up. So.
Oh, my God.
So.
Darius Garland cooking.
Yeah, he's going to probably drop 55 today, honestly.
He just hit a hot 3 right now from deep. Bro, he said...
Great defense. Oh, I thought he was going to make that. So that's kind of what I think we need as a team.
Okay.
Yeah, we can get those key pieces together. Depending on what this 4-3 looks like, we'll see if they're going to try to be number one. Are they going to substitute heavy? Number two, are they going to look downhill to blitz hard and do everything that they need to do? And then if they're going to come down and just be aggressive with the 4. And then number 3, nickel and dime packages. We need to be able to put our playmakers in a position to where Darnell Savage can come down on those dime and nickel sets, as well as be able to have a safety over the top in those 2-shell, 1-shell high sets. He can just roam over the top to give support, especially on the side with on the opposite side of Jair Alexander. And I think if we can get maybe one guy to just play inside the slot nice, we'll be good to go. Offensive tackle, go ahead and get rid of Bakhtiari, bring in one of those 2 left tackles I mentioned. They'll get the job done. They've shown it before. They're young, average age 25, 26. They'll be able to develop with Jordan Love, and we'll see what we're like in there. And then other than that, I can't think of inside linebacker. 4-3, you got to have an intelligent guy that can move pieces around. You can't just, since it's not shared between 2 linebackers in a 3-4 set usually. And I think you got to, that way you can let Preston Smith do what he needs to do as a rushing outside linebacker and be able to be more comfortable in those nickel and dime sets. So, thank you. We'll go ahead and get to DeAndre over here. Go ahead, buddy.
The Chiefs really just need a wide receiver, or they can
Amen.
just get some depth at DB. That's really all they need, man.
Amen.
I don't see them even taking on any freaking free agent defensive back for the freaking offseason or anything like that. Good news is we franchised L'Jarius Sneed for another year.
Yeah. Oh, he was the corner, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay.
So we franchised him, so he'll be able to talk about seeing other teams and all that after his time is up. So we've got him locked for another year, but I mean, I'm not really nervous about us drafting DBs. Like,
I think you guys should.
I'm not nervous about us drafting any freaking secondary players at all. Like, we drafted McDuffie, and you saw how he panned out.
Yeah, exactly. I think you guys just got great scouting ability to find eyes on what you guys need for the team, which is good. I think in terms of wide receiver, you guys could go after Mike Evans.
Yeah, that's what everybody's saying. But if my thing is, we could totally just, I mean, literally, we could go after Mike Evans, but I'd rather us to go in the draft and get Xavier Worthy. That's who I want us to pick up. Just a tall target from Mahomes, 6'4".
Mike Evans is like 6'6".
Yeah, but Mike Evans got a heavy contract.
That's true. So you got Mike Evans.
He need to go somewhere where he finna get paid, and be the number one option.
Well, he said he wants to go get paid, but then he wants to win another ring, and I'm like, I would go with the Chiefs. So in my last 4 to 5 years, that'd be the best shot of me being able to get a ring. I know I'd probably be the number one option.
Hell yeah.
And that's probably going to be the veteranship that they need, especially for what's his face to develop. Because the other receiver, he's not bad. It's just like those drops and stuff. He can't be the star.
Chris Godwin and Mike Evans are crazy combo.
They were disgusting for TB.
They're about to be broken up,
Yeah.
Especially Mike Evans.
Oh, let's see. Oh, he about to show out. Come on, Powell. Yeah.
Oh, windmill?
Yeah, come on, buddy.
Oh.
Just windmill. He dropped. Edwards had 27.
Kawhi dropped
32. Yeah, Kawhi, the silent assassin.
Listen, look at this commercial. It's a BLT, I think, for Arby's. Sorry, guys, this is unrelated. I saw this earlier. I don't really know how I feel about it. Brown sugar
bacon. Ooh, that sounds pretty fire. On a Hawaii roll? Bumbucklat.
That's what I was thinking.
But you guys also have Calvin Ridley, Marquise Brown.
Pick up Calvin. I don't know if I want to get Marquise Brown, if I'm being honest.
Okay. And Gabriel Davis, he's only 25.
Gabe Davis, huh?
Yep.
Fall off of the year, inconsistent as fuck. That nigga had 200 in the AFC last year, 2 years ago. The boy ain't been hot since.
Well, also
hot ass, I should say.
Darnell Mooney,
the double move merchant himself.
Yeah, and then Odell's like
Odell's gone out the race. No way.
Well, I think he had like a 1 year or 2 year with them.
Dang, imagine if Odell don't re-sign with the Ravens, bro. Lamar about to be cooked. I'm sorry, though,
yeah.
But my grace for you is done, bro. Like, you literally could have.
You guys could go get Chase Claypool too.
You just offering mid after mid.
Well, Chase Claypool wasn't. They just could not get him the ball the way he needed to.
Claypool don't be wanting to catch it.
You don't think so? That's fair. Nelson No, he resigned already. Dang. I'm just looking at what they got ranked as a top 100. Randall Cobb.
I'm fine with totally not freaking taking on
You want Laquan Treadwell?
Laquan Treadwell?
Yeah.
Hell no.
Marquise Goodwin? Nah, I'm playing. Yeah, the draft may be the way to go. You guys could find a guy that's already been able to play, man.
I'm telling you, we need to go get Xavier Worthy. They need to stop playing, get Patrick a tall target. Tyreek, I like Tyreek because he's a one-play threat. But once we get in that end zone, he was limited. He's not a contested catching guy. That's not that. He's a
body catcher.
Yeah,
Body.
Helmet
Body.
So that's out the window. That's all. That's really all the Chiefs need.
Okay. Oh, and also, yeah, I hope we re-sign Aaron Jones because we do need that running back, but they're talking about restructured contracts. A lot of the running backs that we're going to go out to get, either free agent or in the draft, it's going to depend on if we can get Aaron Jones back. We're not keeping A.J. Dillon. He's gone. Yeah, he ain't coming back. He ain't coming back, and I was kind of sad they're breaking up this two-headed horse.
What? No way. Well, Packers might be mid next year.
Well, it depends.
Defense will be solid, probably.
Well, I think we made $10 million in cap room. I don't know what the play is. I don't know what big names we're trying to sign, either in the offseason or with new names. But a lot of the cap space is going to get freed up, as if we can figure out getting some of these young guys to develop into stars, so we don't have to pay them star money out the gate. So we'll definitely see with that. But yeah, that kind of covers the draft portion. I don't think there's anything else we wanted to go over.
Right.
We'll go ahead and transition into another topic.
Another topic of discussion here.
You want to talk about Pat McAfee and sports media?
What's going on with that? Are they getting rid of Pat McAfee for freaking college football or not? I need to know. I need to know if I
did they say that
game or not.
Did they say it?
There's been people over there giving backlash to Pat McAfee.
Well, that's what he was talking about. He was talking about how
but
a lot of the
reason we watched it, like literally the Red River rivalry, bro.
Yeah.
We were watching it through his what you call it?
Mm-hmm.
His play calling, because it was like those other two commentators weren't any good. They weren't that interesting.
Yeah, keep talking to
Dillon,
people real quick.
Pat McAfee. Who's the dude that with Terrence Marshall? No. Terrence Marshall. I forgot his. I think he won a Heisman though. The black dude.
Oh, Desmond Howard.
Desmond Howard. Where did Desmond Howard play? OSU? Oklahoma State?
No, I thought he was Michigan.
Was it Michigan?
I think so.
Oklahoma State had a cold receiver. His name was like Desmond something.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, though, man. Like we were saying about back to Pat McAfee. I was only watching the Red River rivalry through his broadcast. I wasn't really interested in those other commentators. I didn't care what those other boneheads had to say.
Yeah.
Sometimes on those games, like they need to make sure we got the good commentators. Like I'm not trying to hate, but the Big 12, we don't really got.
It's those well, I think it depends on CBS, like if it's either through CBS or Fox, like, the broadcasters.
We got freaking Gus Johnson, dude.
Mama! Yeah. Even the Bobcats commentators just be like, yo, just sign a little quick.
Some barbecue and you didn't invite me. My feelings are hurt.
Or when he was like, she missed that shit. Bro, that was funny. But the thing about Pat McAfee is he truly made sports enjoyable again. Because here's the thing. What has been literally carrying sports media, because they have no creative ability, is ex-NFL and NBA players. We have to understand that one of the first things that even made the NFL game coverages better, or even just how they viewed the game with the replays, was because of that linebacker that retired from the Chicago Bears after they run it. Was that white guy. He was like he was just good, just rushing, but then they made some changes. He wasn't good in coverage. But what he did was he was like, no, you guys need to use this angle. And a lot of people enjoyed the fact that he was able to give the angles of what the players are seeing so they could understand how these tackles are being made, why these tackles are being made, or what's going through a corner's mind when he's sitting on the sideline. Look at what Tony Romo did. They had to tell him to calm down because he was getting too good about calling plays just out the gate.
I know Jerry Jones is just absolutely fucking sick sitting there. Like, how can he sit up here in this press box diagnose a defense, but he can't even hold on to a PA or freaking field goal snap in the playoffs.
And that's been the thing too. Ex NFL players or just ex ball players being able to cover the game the way that they have, to be able to talk you through like what's going through a corner's head on this situation, or going through a quarterback and wide receiver combination. Like, we never understood truly back shoulder throws about putting balls in just spots when you're in the end zone. You know, until Randy Moss was talking about it, how he worked with it, or even
Troy Aikman.
Jimmy Johnson, who would talk about, we used to drill this in practice because we wanted you guys to be able, because we understood this is just the connection that they had. I mean, if we're going to be honest, if Matt Stafford and Calvin Johnson do like a podcast about talking about how they went through games looking for different spots and how to get open, you can't tell me that nobody's not going to watch that. I mean, everybody's itching right now for Bill Belichick and Nick Saban just to do a podcast at the very least. Just to cover ball just like that. At the college, and like if they had an hour segment where they did 30 minutes on college and then 30 minutes on NFL, or even 30 minutes on high school level, who's not watching that? Who's not truly watching that? I mean, we saw what happened when Steve Kerr was doing it. I mean, he helped a lot of people understand what was going on. So I think sports media is turning in the right direction, considering we want these opinions on, sports. So hopefully going forward, Pat McAfee just needs to keep doing what he wants to do. And the old house of sports media is just going to have to burn down and just deal with it. Because, to be honest, this is what we want to see. We want to see guys break down film, draw yellow markers, walk us through plays and stuff like that. Like John Gruden, when he used to do that, the college football, quarterback camps, you can't tell me that wasn't fun.
That shit was more interesting to watch than I have to sit that's on now.
Exactly. So we'll see, going forward with that. But let us know what you guys think. We're about to probably just go ahead and close it out. It's like an hour, geez. But let us know what you guys think. What do you guys think about the top 10 draft prospects? Who do you guys got? What are your team needs, right? What is your team looking like? What do you think they need? And where do you think a lot of these players are going to go?
And how do you think they'll do next season?
Exactly. Do you think any teams are going to have some projected sophomore slumps? Any guys that you think are washed up? Also, we'd want to say is, what do you guys think about sports media? Do you like that more ex-NFL, ex-NFL, ex-NBA people, players, or coaches are commentating more on games? Do you enjoy that more?
Or would you rather see Adam Schefter gossiping about what could be going on?
Or Stephen A. or even Stephen A. Smith? Do you want to see that, or do you want to see more of guys who have been in it? So let us know what you guys think. And like I said, thank you guys once again for sticking with us through the Headless Horsemen. We're trying to do the best that we can. We're going to get more content out to you guys this week. We already got a plan that we want to be able to put out some more shorts for these segments for you guys. And then also, we want to just give a shout out to our Spotify listeners. Let's get that up to 10 listeners, followers. And let's also get 120 plays in the next couple weeks so we can close out March. Let's try to close out March with 125. YouTube, we put up 5 views on our last vid.
Yeah?
Yeah, and we got a like.
Let's go.
That's what I'm talking about, baby. Let's go. So shout out to you guys on the YouTubian spheres. Thank you guys. Shout out to all the Apple Podcast listeners as well. We really enjoy your guys' support. And like I said, we're going to do a better job of getting more content out to you guys. You guys seem to really be enjoying this, especially our short term. So we're going to short form, so we'll get that out to you guys. And thank you once again for tuning in to another episode of the Headless Horsemen Podcast, where we get a little headless, a little reckless, but we bring it in at the end of the day. Thank you for joining us at the stables. I'm one of your co-hosts, Clocking Out. Optimus Coctimus joined today with
Dr. Dre, man.
And we'll see you guys in the next one. Headless Horsemen, let's ride. Ow!